What better way to kick off homecoming weekend here at Bluefield University other than to start the first episode of Bluefield Coaches Show? On this show, we'll talk about some football, some men's basketball, some women's basketball. I'll give you some behind-the-scenes look at these programs, players, some upcoming matchups. And without further ado, we'll get started with our first guest, Bluefield head football coach Dewey Lusk. Coach, we appreciate you joining us. It's a big week here for Bluefield football homecoming. So we'll start with that. Tell me about homecoming weekend and what it means on campus, not only to your football program, but to this campus and the community of Bluefield.
Well, if you were at the pep rally yesterday, I kind of got them going. Did some quick cows and that kind of thing. But, I tried to express it's not just for football. It's for the entire campus. It's for all the sports. We're 85% student athletes here. And, anytime you can provide energy, do some fun things and involve all the students, it's a huge thing. And then plus, we've got Hall of Fame weekend. DeMarcus Wimbush, arguably one of the best linebackers to play in NAIA, set all kinds of tackle records, and a great young man coming back to get inducted into the Hall of Fame. So we're looking forward to having him. Mike White, our baseball coach, getting inducted, and two of my best friends right there. So, it's going to be a big weekend, and it's always a big weekend for us because there's a game to be played, and we need to get another victory up on the board for us. So. Sure.
Absolutely. Well, we'll start diving in here. We got a lot to catch up on here, but your team is very young this year, easily over 50 freshmen on this roster and many more. What have you seen from this freshman class been able to really just jump right in the game and make a quick impact for you?
My goodness, it's been a road. And anytime you have freshmen, it's a roller coaster ride, and that's exactly what it's been. And, we were fortunate to get the first win of the year against Thomas, and then we started playing some really tough competition. And freshman-wise, we just weren't ready for all that. We had to learn how to play with energy. We had to learn how to play hard. We had to adjust to the speed of the college game. And it just took us a minute. But the kids have hung in there, and it kind of happened for us at Reinhardt. Even though we got beat 35-12, Reinhardt scored on their first 4 possessions. But then we started battling back. We didn't tuck our tail and run and hide. We started battling back. We started playing hard with a lot of energy, didn't look at the scoreboard, and you could kind of see something was happening. And that's why we felt really good going into the Pikeville game. And of course, got the upset win against the preseason favorites, and that was huge. And that, says a lot about these freshmen, and they're starting to grow up, and it's going to bode well for the future.
Awesome. Well, you mentioned that Pikeville game, and I want to mention your senior quarterback, Ethan Cash. He currently ranks 3rd in the AAC in passing yards and touchdowns, just 1 year removed from a record-setting quarterback in Nathan Hurstich. He's now on your coaching staff, so a little bit of a two-parter here. What have you seen from Ethan this season, and what is his relationship like with Nathan?
Ethan is a tremendous leader, and you got to remember, even though he's played college football 3 or 4 years, this is his first year in our system, and he's adjusted well. And, in the notes here, I was noticing, comparison with Ethan and Nathan and that kind of thing. And Nathan had arguably some of the best wideouts to have played in NAIA football. I mean, when you're talking in 1 year, Jaquan Ebron, 85 catches, and Antonio Strickland, 80 catches, all in the same year. Our kids are working hard. We have some good receivers, but I believe Nate had a little bit better core to go to, and so that makes a big difference. Marlon Haywood has been been a tremendous receiver for us, and as a true freshman. Another freshman. And last week's KCU game, well, let's back up to the Pikeville game. He caught the 3rd touchdown pass. It kind of iced the game for us, and he had a bad ankle sprain. So we were without him against Kentucky Christian, and we still fight even without him. And lose 28-21, and I really think if Marlon had been in there, we'd had a little bit better outcome. But at any rate, going back to the freshman part of it, we fought all night long and played hard. And KCU's got a pretty good quarterback as well. But Ethan and Nathan, their relationship is second to none. You got to know Nate. Nate is a no-nonsense, even keel kind of person. And, Ethan actually mentioned to me the other day, he said, man, it's been great to have Coach Hurstich around. So his experience is invaluable. He's going to make a great coach. He's done a great job this year. He's made some great play calls in clutch situations. And we're hoping that this fifth-year senior rule passes. And if it does, we'll have Ethan back for another year. And we should know something about that in January or February. So looking forward to that.
For sure. Awesome. So, we talked about your young core. We've talked about your offense. Let's switch over to the defensive side of the ball a little bit. You forced the most turnovers in the AAC, 7 interceptions, 7 fumbles. How are you able to keep these offenses on their toes and, and kind of swing the momentum on the other side of the ball?
Well, Coach Ketchum does a great job. And once again, working with a young secondary, young linebackers, C.J. Howard's in there at middle linebacker at 175 pounds, but he's going to give you all he's got. It's been a roller coaster ride on defense as well. Same deal. He'll pull up stats, and it's like, take Reinhardt, for example. Score their first 4 possessions. We stop them the next 9. Where were we? The first, okay, Pikeville. We stop them the first 6, 7 possessions, and then they got, what happened? It's the same kid. We are learning to play more consistent, and we've done a great job, and we've gotten better. We have gotten better. And what we've gotten better at is attitude, playing with energy, playing hard, and getting after it. Because we're young, we make silly mistakes. And that gets us offensively, that gets us defensively. And, we've just got to be able to play well without mistakes on both sides of the ball. So the jumping off sides that you play, we know it's coming. We're telling them it's coming, but we still jump. But we're doing better. And defensively, we're just going to grow from this and be much, much better even next fall. So, we're looking forward to it. We want to finish out these games, these next 2. If we can beat Ryle on Saturday, and then we got a tough Union, and it's always tough, throw the records out. But if we can finish this thing 4-6, we're going to look back on it and say, man, we let 2 or 3 games get away from us. But once again, we were young, but hopefully that bodes well for the future in our experience.
Right. So while we got you here, one last question. We want to talk about this weekend's opponent. They got Rio Grande, a little bit of a unique situation here. First year of competition for them since the 40s, about 70 years of competition. What have you seen from them on film, and what's a big key to coming away with a victory Saturday?
Oh, they're scrappy. They're going to get after you. They don't play like an 0-8 football team. Defensively, they're bringing all these exotic blitzes from all over the place, and they're 3-3. I think they've struggled some offensively, trying to, find their niche. And it's tough. Once again, they're playing all freshmen with a handful of sophomores. So, they're in the same boat. They played a Point who beat us. They only lost a point, 21-14. Gave Point all they wanted. So we're going to have to come in here on Saturday and play 4 quarters of football and not turn it over, get some turnovers and make some things happen. But they've done a really good job to be a first-year program. Hopefully we'll play tough and play hard, and I think we will, and give us an opportunity to win.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time. Best of luck this weekend. Thank you for being the first ever guest here on the Coaches Show. And we'll kick it over to our second interview with women's basketball head coach Jake Wright. Back again here on episode 1 of the Bluefield University Coaches Show. My guest joining me now, head women's basketball coach Jake Wright. Coach, thank you for joining us today. You're in your second season here leading the Bluefield women's basketball program. There's plenty of excitement around this new look team you got this year. You've got 7 freshmen getting their first look at college basketball. You mentioned something earlier this year that really piqued my interest. You said your freshmen have forced you to change your guys' structure a little bit. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about what that means and what you've seen from this freshman class so far.
Oh gosh, being so young, it's a blessing and a curse sometimes. But, with our structure, with everything we do and how we play the game, it's changed a lot just trying to adapt to our youngins. And, they've done a phenomenal job. We can play a little faster pace at times. We shoot the ball a heck of a lot better now. So, we've just been able to kind of space the floor a little bit better, have some better offensive movements, stuff like that. But, for them, it's just they're growing up. We started the year off with two really good opponents in Gwinnett and Midway. And, for us, it's about just getting them grown, getting them thrown into the fire a little bit, letting them grow up. And they're doing a great job with it. And, I'm excited for the growth of this team.
Awesome. Well, on the flip side, you do return 6 seniors, 3 of which have been consistent in your starting lineup. What kind of leadership have they shown, especially with so many newcomers coming in?
They've done a great job. They've really went out of their way to make everybody feel welcome, to make everybody understand how we're going to do things. What is the definition of being a women's basketball player at Bluefield University, and how we go about our business, how we take care of things on and off the court. So they've done a phenomenal job, and they've done a great job of integrating these young kids into their family, into the basketball life. And, it's been a very proud coaching moment to see the merge of older and younger groups, because for us, we're kind of very strange we don't have a lot of middle groups. We're very senior heavy, very freshman heavy, and very, very few in between. So it's kind of fun to watch the merging of, sometimes a 5-year difference of kids, and they're doing a great job of it.
Awesome. So you already mentioned your 2 opponents this year, Georgia Gwinnett and Midway. Yeah. They played 2 very contrasting styles. Yes. Georgia Gwinnett really wanted to slow things down, play things half court. Yeah. Midway played with a lot of pace, a lot of pressure, a lot of fresh bodies on the floor. How does facing those contrasting styles really help prepare you for the rest of the season?
Well, it's exactly what I wanted to get. For us, when I was setting this schedule up, I really wanted to set the schedule to really challenge us, make us grow quick. That way, when we start getting into conference, we've seen everything that somebody might throw at us and stuff like that. But, like you said, it was very drastic style. Gwinnett would bring it down, bring that shot clock down to 2 seconds at times before a shot would go off. And, both teams are extremely well coached. Both of them do their style phenomenal. But, it was about seeing different styles and preparing us for the conference slate. And, I was really, really proud of our kids. We're playing hard. We got to clean some stuff up. We got to grow up a little bit. But, just like with everything, as a coach, we got to have faith in our kids. And I think I got plenty of faith in mine.
So, you do mention those 2 really tough games to start, but I do want to highlight somebody. Your last game, freshman Jemiah Joseph. Yes. She came off the bench, scored a team best 14 points, only played 20 minutes. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about her performance and what you saw from her last game.
It was great. It was great to watch, in a game that we were getting pressured so much. It seemed like every time we'd turn around, somebody was in their hip, in their pocket, just constant pressure, 94 feet, constant pressure. And, Jemiah, I thought, did a great job of really being able to handle the pressure, really being able to handle everything that Midway was throwing at her. And she was able to knock down shots with, whether it be a tough drive through the lane and finishing with an and one, or knocking down a 3. I was just very pleased with her effort. Jemiah's a kid that was a dual sport athlete coming over late. So she missed a lot of preseason stuff and is slowly catching up. But it's nice to see those flashes, and hopefully it's something we can continue to build on with her. And she's done a great job with our team. She's meshed really well with our girls, and our girls love playing with her. Jemiah is the energy bug for us. And I'm telling you what, she is pure energy in a good way for us, and always positive, and our girls really feed off of it. So I'm excited for that.
Awesome. Well, one last question while we got you here. You do open conference play Saturday against the preseason number 1 of Pikeville. What kind of challenges do they present for you? What's the key to competing with that level of play?
Oh, gosh. So, it's another very well-coached team that's going to do what they do. We're currently breaking down film as we go. Now, the blessing for us is we've had a full week to prepare for this game, going from Wednesday to Wednesday. So we're excited for it. We're going to throw everything we got at them. I expect a little more half court looks. They're very good in the half court sets, offensively and defensively, whatever they do in half court. So we're excited for it. We're ready to go. And what a way to start off the conference year with preseason number 1. You got to love it, especially at third place. So we're excited for the the fight and the scratch and the claw to get to where we need to be, and might as well start it with the number one team.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, we appreciate you taking some time out of your day to sit down with us. Best of luck Saturday.
Absolutely.
And next on the Bluefield Coaches Show, we'll kick it over to our final guest of episode 1, head men's basketball coach Joseph Cooper. Our final guest of episode 1 here on the Bluefield Coaches Show, head men's basketball coach Joseph Cooper. Coach, thanks for joining us today. It's your first season leading the Bluefield men's basketball program. There's already a lot of excitement around your style of playing these guys, getting to watch these guys. It's your first year at the helm here. I've had the chance to watch a few of your practices. You're really stressing defensive pressure. I really like that. For those who may not know your style yet, tell me a little bit about what your team looks like on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, for sure. Defensively, that's where we're starting. We've even got a theme of defense first. It's so important to be able to control what the offense does and to be able to dictate what they can run. And so that's really a point of emphasis for us. I don't know if I've worked defense more than I have this year already at any time. So we're going to continue doing that. It's a huge priority for us. We want to be able to pick up 94 feet and make it tough for the offense to get into their stuff. And then that really enables us to play fast on the other end as well. We want to get out. We want to run. We want to get high percentage looks, paint touches to the free throw line, those type of things. We've also got some guys that can really shoot the ball out of the corner for pitch aheads. And so it's a really exciting style of play. It's a lot of fun to coach and to watch. It should be a lot of good moments.
You bring in a strong group of transfers who've already made an impact in the college game and, this year through 2 games for you guys. Guys like Shaf Clark, guys like Keyshawn Tonsel. Tell me a little bit about that group of transfers and how they've really helped you, cement your first roster there.
Yeah, we've got a great group that came in. They're contributing big time already. Shaf Clark, obviously in the middle. He's a strong guy, about 6'7", 225, 230. And he's really talented as well. He can put the ball on the floor a little bit. He can step out and shoot it. He can guard multiple positions for us. So we're just starting to scratch the surface on what he can really provide for us. Keyshawn has been great for us. He's really getting downhill and getting towards the basket. Really good finisher. DJ McDonald just had a great game against Presbyterian, 20 and 10. He's a similar type guy where he can guard multiple positions. He can score the ball in a variety of ways. So we're just starting to figure some of these guys out, but already big time contributions.
Alongside these newcomers, you got guys who did return from last year's Bluefield roster, guys like Elijah White, who has led this team in scoring for the past 2 years. What have you seen from the guys that you inherited on this roster?
Yeah, you got to start with Elijah White. He's been all conference the last few years, going back to when he was freshman player of the year in the conference. The dude can fill it up and fill it up in a hurry, can get hot in a hurry. He can do so many different things on the basketball court. He can get us into our offense. He can get us out in transition. He can shoot the ball. He can attack the paint and get a paint touch. Just variety of ways that he can score around the hoop as well. And what's impressed me so far is his leadership ability and getting guys to continue to buy in and setting the tone for us on a daily basis.
To round out these roster questions, I want to highlight a guy that you've actually coached before in Isaiah Sanders. He's played, been in the starting lineup, played some significant minutes for you already. What does a guy like Isaiah, who's already, been in your system and knows your expectations, bring to this group?
Yeah, I think it really helps me. It definitely gives me a security blanket, just knowing what he can provide, and have seen him do it so many different times, whether it's closing games late, whether it's accepting a challenge defensively, whether it's his leadership or just different intangibles that he provides. Just knowing that he has that in him and have seen that firsthand so many times, it makes me sleep better at night. And he's just really still figuring things out too. He has such a high ceiling. His role is going to continue to develop as the season progresses.
All right, so we'll move on now to your schedule. You'll hit the road Saturday, your first AAC conference matchup, and it is going to be a tough one. Preseason number 1 and nationally ranked Pikeville. So, when you scout the Bears, what do you see from them on film, and what's it going to take to get a big win Saturday?
Yeah, great team, well coached. They play the right way. They make the extra pass. They play hard. They play a lot of different guys. They've got size. They've got a really good point guard. Of course, they've got a really good scorer as well. It's no surprise why they're highly ranked, and it's definitely justified. So we've got our work cut out for us. We're already putting in the game prep for it. We feel like we've got a good opportunity if we follow the game plan to go in there and play really well. We know we've got to bring our A game because we know how good UPike is.
Coach, thank you for sitting down with us. Best of luck this weekend. And thank you for watching episode 1 of the Bluefield University Coach Show. We appreciate Coach Luss, Coach Wright, and Coach Cooper for being our first guest on the show. Thank you for all your support of Bluefield University Athletics, and don't forget to tune in next week. Thank you for watching.